Alright guys, today we're talking about the iPhone 18 Pro Max, and more specifically, the biggest iPhone 18 Pro Max leaks and rumors making the rounds right now. And before we jump in, quick reminder, none of this is officially confirmed by Apple yet. These are leaks, supply chain reports, and early whispers, so treat everything as possible, not guaranteed. With that said, if even half of these iPhone 18 Pro Max upgrades are real, Apple's next Pro Max could be a serious leap forward. Let's get into the 10 biggest iPhone 18 Pro Max leaks. Leak number 1, new iPhone 18 Pro Max colors, a dark berry purple, light blue, and more. First up, let's talk iPhone 18 Pro Max colors because this is always one of the most searched topics every year. Early on, a lot of people expected Apple to introduce a darker red tone for the iPhone 18 Pro Max, but right. Now what we're hearing is that Apple may be leaning toward a deeper purple instead, more like a dark berry purple finish. Think rich, premium, and a bit moodier than previous purples we've seen in the lineup. Alongside that darker purple, there are also reports pointing to a new light blue option, which could be a clean, icy, modern color that really pops in bright lighting. Then, to round out the lineup, we're expecting the classic Pro-style finishes too. A darker gray or near black shade, think space black, space gray vibes. A silver option for people who want that timeless, bright, premium look. If this ends up being the final iPhone 18 Pro Max color lineup, it's a really strong mix. One bold hero color, one fresh light color, and two classic Pro staples. Leak number 2, LTPO plus display technology. Brighter, more efficient. Now let's talk about the iPhone 18 Pro Max display, because this next rumor is big. The second leak is that Apple could adopt a new display tech being referred to as LTPO+. This type of screen technology has been associated with better efficiency and improved brightness while keeping power consumption under control, and, that's the key, a better display without killing battery life. So if iPhone 18 Pro Max really gets LTPO+, the win here could be higher peak brightness and better outdoor visibility, smoother adaptive refresh rate behavior, improved efficiency that helps extend battery life basically. It's the kind of upgrade you feel every single day, scrolling, watching content, gaming, and using the phone in sunlight. Leak number 3, smaller dynamic island, finally. Leak number 3 sticks with the front of the phone. The iPhone 18 Pro Max Dynamic Island might finally get smaller. We're hearing it could shrink by roughly 1/3 compared to what we have now. And honestly, it's about time, because the Dynamic Island footprint has stayed pretty consistent since the iPhone 14 Pro generation. Now, important detail. This doesn't necessarily mean Apple is moving everything under the display yet. It could simply mean the Face ID and camera components are getting more compact, allowing Apple to reduce the size of the cutout without changing the whole system. If Apple pulls this off, it's one of those upgrades that makes the phone feel newer instantly, because you'll notice it every time you unlock the device or watch a video. Leak number 4, new back glass finish, frosted, glossier, possibly more transparent. Alright, leak number 4 focuses on iPhone 18 Pro Max design, specifically the rear glass. The rumor here is that Apple may change the ceramic glass back to a new finish, potentially something more frosted, more reflective, and possibly even slightly translucent in certain lighting. Now don't imagine a fully see-through transparent phone like a concept device. But the idea being discussed is a back that may not look as solid and flat in color as current Pro models. You could get more depth, more shine, and maybe even subtle visibility of internal outlines like MagSafe structure depending on how the layers are engineered. Whether Apple goes fully glossy or just glossier than before, the main takeaway is this. The iPhone 18 Pro Max could look noticeably different from the iPhone 17 Pro Max even from across the room. Leak number 5. A20 Pro chip, 2nm performance and efficiency jump. Now we're moving inside the phone, and this one is basically guaranteed for the next generation. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is expected to get the A20 Pro chip. The big rumor here is that Apple could be moving to a 2nm process for the A20 Pro. In simple terms, that usually means better performance, better power efficiency, potentially improved thermal behavior under heavy load. So you could see faster app launches, better console-level gaming performance, stronger AI features, and smoother multitasking while using less power doing it. And if Apple also continues improving internal cooling, like vapor chamber-style cooling that keeps coming up in pro-level rumors, this combo could make the iPhone 18 Pro Max feel insanely fast while staying cooler for longer. Leak number 6. Apple's C2 or C2X modem comes to the Pro. Models leak number 6 is one of the most important iPhone 18 Pro Max rumors if you care about real-world battery life and connectivity. Reports suggest Apple may bring its next custom modem, often referred to as the C2, or possibly C2X, into the iPhone 18 Pro and iPhone 18 Pro Max models. Why does this matter? Because the modem is one of the biggest drivers of battery drain in a smartphone. If Apple's custom modem is more efficient, you could get better battery life, especially on 5G improved signal stability, potentially better performance in areas with weak coverage. This is the kind of upgrade that doesn't sound flashy, but it can completely change how the phone feels day to day, especially if you travel, commute, or spend time in inconsistent reception areas. Leak number 7. Satellite connectivity for data, not just emergency. Now this is where things get really interesting. The 7th leak says the iPhone 18 Pro Max could expand satellite features from emergency-only use into actual satellite data connectivity. That means if you're somewhere with no cellular towers, think hiking trails, deserts, remote roads, or anywhere coverage drops to zero, you could still potentially access basic online features through satellite. Now, manage expectations. It's not likely to be full-speed, everyday 5G replacement internet. The rumor points more toward lightweight connectivity, like basic web browsing messaging and essential communication, possibly music streaming at lower quality simple map updates or online requests. So no, you probably wouldn't be streaming 4K video smoothly in the middle of nowhere. But staying connected at all in places where you usually have nothing? That's a massive upgrade, and it could be one of the most meaningful iPhone 18 Pro Max features for safety and travel. Leak number 8. Variable aperture main camera, DSLR, light control. Now let's talk iPhone 18 Pro Max camera leaks, because this one could be a game changer. Leak number 8 suggests the main 48-megapixel wide camera could gain variable aperture. If you're not into camera tech, here's what that means in real life. The camera lens can physically adjust how much light it lets in, similar to what you get on DSLR and mirrorless cameras. So in bright daylight, the aperture can tighten to reduce excessive light and improve sharpness and control. In darker scenes, it can open wider to pull in more light, which can improve low-light photos without relying as heavily on computational tricks. But the real magic is portrait photography and depth. Variable aperture can create more natural background blur and more realistic subject separation, moving closer to that true optical look people love from bigger cameras. If Apple nails this, the iPhone 18 Pro Max could be one of the most versatile smartphone cameras ever, especially for creators, travelers, and anyone who wants better photos without editing. Leak number 9. Updated camera control button, simplified and cheaper to repair. Leak number 9 is about the iPhone's camera control button on the side. The rumor says Apple may redesign it into a simplified version, potentially making it more durable, easier to manufacture, and importantly, cheaper to repair if it ever breaks. And that matters because hardware buttons can be surprisingly expensive to replace, especially if they're complex or integrated with advanced sensors. So even if this doesn't sound like a headline feature, it can be a quality of life improvement, more reliable camera access, fewer repair headaches, and potentially a better user experience for quickly shooting photos and videos. Leak number 10, slightly thicker body for a bigger battery. And finally, leak number 10, the iPhone 18 Pro Max could be slightly thicker, around 0.5 millimeter thicker, according to the rumors. That may sound tiny, but it's actually enough room for Apple to potentially increase battery capacity. So if the battery grows even a little, say from around the 5,000 mAh range to something like 5,200 mAh, then combine that with LTPO plus efficiency A20 Pro power. Savings a more efficient Apple modem. You can see where this is going. The iPhone 18 Pro Max battery life could be on another level, potentially one of the biggest battery jumps we've seen in years, not because of one single change, but because multiple upgrades stacked together.